Hello students, today we will study the energy band theory of conductors, semiconductors and insulators. Now, I think you must have very well known about the nature of the conductors, semiconductors and the insulators. You know that conductors conduct the electricity or current at the room temperature, and when the temperature is increased, the conductivity of the conductors decreases. Whereas insulators are the substances or materials which do not conduct electricity at the room temperature. So naturally, when they don't conduct the electricity at room temperature, there is no effect of temperature on their conductivity. And semiconductors are in between the conductors and the insulators. That is, the semiconductors are those which conduct electricity at room temperature, but the magnitude of this electric current is very low. So you can say that they are the conductors at room temperature, but their conductivity is very low as compared with the conductivity of conductors. But here, when you increase the temperature, the conductivity of the semiconductor will increase. So this is the basic difference between a conductor and semiconductor. For a conductor, conductivity decreases with the rise of temperature, whereas for a semiconductor, conductivity increases with the rise of temperature. Now, today we will see how this conductivity increases or decreases with temperature with the energy diagram of the conductors, semiconductors and the insulators. The difference between conductors, semiconductors and insulators is basically depends upon the number of free electrons. As you must know that the free electrons in any material are responsible for the conductance. This difference is well explained by the band theory. We know that energy difference level of electrons are quantized. Quantized means electrons are having the energy in a discrete value. It is not continuous like a wave. It is discontinuous. It is in the form of the quantas. You must be knowing. When a large group of atoms is taken into account, the energy levels of electrons form a series which can be grouped into bands, as you can see in the figure. In the first figure, you see that when a number of electrons are aggregated or they are taking combiningly, these discrete values are grouped, and when they are grouped, the energy difference between these is so small that it appears just like a band. Okay, now different energy bands are shown here. Here the first band, that is the lowest band, and in between band and the upper band. These bands are indicating either the valence band of a material. Valence band means the band in which the valence electrons reside, or they are the conduction band. The conduction band is that band which is responsible for the conductivity of a matter. The difference of energy between the energy levels within a band is very small, as I have just told you, compared with the energy gap between the bands. What does it mean? That if we see the energy difference between the bands, it is large as compared to the energy difference of different atoms or different electrons in a group. Means when they are in the form of band, these band have a energy gap, and definitely this energy gap is higher than the energy gap between the different electrons. The energy band diagram of a conductor and an insulator and a semiconductor are shown in the below figure. In first figure, we are looking the energy band diagram of the conductor. In this diagram, you can very well see that the lowest one is the valence band, designated as the VB, and above this there is a conduction band represented by CB, and the difference of the energy between the valence band and conduction band is represented by EG. This EG is known as the energy gap, or sometimes it is also called as the forbidden zone. Now, second diagram, it is for the insulator. In insulator, again, lower one is the valence band and upper one is the conduction band, and the energy gap is shown by EG. And last diagram is for a semiconductor. In this semiconductor, in valence band, you see there are holes which are created by the migration of electrons from valence band to the conduction band, which is very well shown by the arrow in the diagram. And in upper band is the conduction band, and in conduction band the holes are coming from CB to VB. It means there is a migration of hole as well as electrons in the conduction band. So for the semiconductors, both holes as well as electrons are responsible for the conductance. Now we will see them separately. Conductors. In a conductor, the valence band is fully filled by the electrons. Remember, the valence band is fully filled by the electrons, whereas conduction band is partly filled, which you can see very well in the figure. That lower part of the conduction band is shown with the electrons and upper part is shown vacant. Only a little amount of energy is sufficient to allow electrons to move within the conduction band. Some rising to a higher energy level and others remaining to a lower energy level. This movement of electrons within conduction band is responsible for the conduction. So, what is the which factor is responsible for the conduction in conductors? The movements of electrons within the conduction band. In some metallic conductors, the valence band and conduction band are so close to each other that they sometimes overlap with each other, resulting in a partly filled top band. The difference in energy between the valence band and conduction band is shown by EG, as I have just told you. And in case of insulators, in an insulator, the valence band is full and EG is very large. Means in an insulator, the valence band is fully occupied by the electrons. Conduction band is empty, and simultaneously the energy gap between the conduction band and valence band is so large that it cannot even overcome by the temperature. That's why on increasing the temperature there is no effect on the conductivity of the insulator. Thus it will require a large energy to reach electrons from valence band to conduction band, so which results in the non-conductivity of the insulator. Rubber is the example. And in case of the semiconductors, as you can see from the figure, that when the temperature is raised, more electrons move from valence band to conduction band, creating the holes behind the valence band, in the valence band. And this movement of electrons from VB to CB results the conductance. When temperature is increased, more electrons are increasing in the conduction band, more electrons are reaching in the conduction band. It means more conductivity is observed in case of the semiconductors. Now, these are the figures, energy diagram for conductors, semiconductors and insulators. First figure shows the band picture of an insulator with an interatomic spacing. You can see from the figure that for an insulator, the energy gap is so high that this is a very well, you can see this figure, you can see from this figure that in case of the insulator, the energy gap between the conduction band and the valence band is so large that it cannot be overcome by the temperature. So I have written here that energy gap is very larger than the kT, which cannot be overcome by the temperature. And this figure, next figure, shows the band picture of semiconductor with an interatomic spacing DSC. In this figure, you can see that there is a filled valence band, there is empty conduction band, but the difference between them is small, which is shown by kT. So electrons can jump from valence band to the conduction band. And in this figure, you can see the dependence of the energy on interatomic spacing, first figure. And second figure shows the overlapping of the valence band and the conduction band. You can see from this figure that valence band and conduction band are overlapping with each other. When they are overlapping with each other, there is easy migration of the electrons from valence band to conduction band, and also there is a free movement of the electrons in the conduction band, which is the property of a conductor. So today we have seen that how the energy band diagram explains the nature of conductor, semiconductor and the insulators, and how the temperature affects their conductivity. That's sufficient for today. Thank you.